So in this video, we'll be going over the chain rule, and here are the two formulas that you need to remember. So the first one is for composite functions, meaning that there is a function inside another function. So it's like a nested function, and all you have to do is derive f, the outer function first, and the inner function stays the same, multiplied by the derivative of g, which is the inner function. And the second formula is when you have a function to the power of something, so you bring it down, so n down u n minus 1 multiplied by the derivative of u. So let's do some examples and this will be more clear to understand. So here is an example for the first formula, which is the composite one. So since we have sine and 2 sine 2x, so you have to derive the outer function first, which is sine, which is going to be cosine 2x multiplied by the derivative of the brackets. So here's going to be 2, and the final answer is going to be 2 cosine 2x. Here's an example for the second formula where we have a function to the power of something, and the function has x's and whatever not. So let's use the formula. So you bring the power down first. So this is going to be 2 open brackets 3x plus 1, since that's going to stay the same. And now we do n minus 1, so it's going to be 2 minus 1 is 1 multiplied by the derivative of the inside part, which is going to be 3, and the final answer would be 6 into 3x plus 1. So in this example, let's use the second formula, as that is the one we can use for this one. So we will bring 4 down, which is n, 4 into u, which is going to stay the same, plus 4x, and now this is going to be to the power of 4 minus 1, 3, time the derivative of the inside part, which is u. So derivative of u is the 2x plus 4, and that's going to be in brackets. And let's simplify this now. So it's going to be 8x plus 16 into x squared plus 4x to the power of 3. So here we need to use the first formula, as we have sine and we can take g as x cube. So we need to derive the outer part first, which is sine, which is going to be cosine, and the inner part stays the same. So x cube is going to stay the same, multiplied by the derivative of g. So of g is 3x2, and simplify this is going to be 3x2 cosine x cube, and that's the final answer. So in this again we need to use the first formula, since we have two functions here. So the derivative of tan is secant squared, so secant squared x squared, the inner part stays the same, multiplied by g prime, so that is the derivative of x squared, which is going to be 2x, and that is the final answer. I forgot that this is secant squared. The derivative of tan is secant squared. So you need to know the common derivatives of each function, like tan, secant, and remember all those in the exam. So in this, again, we use the first formula. So it's going to be the derivative of secant is secant tan. So it's going to be secant, and inner part stays the same first, and tan with the same thing, and multiplied by the derivative of the inner part, which is 6x, and that is the final answer. So for this example we can use the second formula this time, since we have a u which is ln x and n is going to be 6, so it's going to be 6 ln x to the power of 5 now, multiplied by the derivative of ln x, which is going to be 1 over x, and the final answer would be 6 ln x to the power of 5 all over x, and this is the final answer. Now, whenever you have radicals, it's always best to convert it in this form where we have brackets. So it's going to be x squared plus 2 to the power of half, since radical is just taking the power to the half. So this is now more simpler to use the formula even. So let's use it now. It's going to be half, and the bracket stays the same. So x squared plus 2, and it's going to be n minus 1. So half minus 1 is negative half, times the derivative of the inner part of u, so it's going to be 2x, and now simplify this, it's going to be cancelling the 2 out, and the remainder is going to be x over x squared plus 2, and this is all to the power of half. Or you can just write the radical back, you can leave it any form, doesn't really matter. So let's move on to the next question. So it's going to be 1 over x cube minus 1, and this is to the power of 4. So how do you think we should start this question with? Because we do have some kind of u to the power of n, so what we can do is we can bring this up and the power will become negative. So it will be x cube minus 1 to the power of negative 4. Since we brought this up, now we can easily use this formula. So it's going to be minus 4 into x cube minus 1, and minus 4 minus 1 is going to be minus 5, times the derivative of u, which is 3x2, and you can simplify this, so it will become minus 12 x squared over x cube minus 1 to the power of 5, and that's the final answer. So for the next question, we need to use the first formula where we need to derive f first, so sine first. So it's going to be cosine, and the inner part is going to stay the same, so tan x to the power of 4. Now we need to derive g now, so the derivative of tan is secant squared, and x4 is going to stay the same, and we need to include the derivative of the inner part, so that's going to be 4x3, and the final answer is just this. So how do you think we should start with the next question? We have sine to the power of 5 and tan cosine x cube. So the first thing we notice is that the sine to the power of 5 can be taken out here, and now we have something of u to the power of n, where u is this entire function. So let's use this formula first. So it's going to be n, which is 5, and the inner part just stays the same, so sine tan cosine x cube, and it's going to be n minus 1, so to the power of 4 multiplied by u prime. And here now for u prime is only this part, so now we can use the first formula, which is this one. So let's derive sine first, as the formula states. So the outer part derives first, so it's going to be cosine, and the inner part stays the same, so tan cosine x cube. And now we need to derive the inner part of sine, which is tan cosine cube. So we are on this step now, and as you realize that we are again have two functions, so for this tan cosine cube x cube, we again need to use this composite function. So it's going to keep repeating and looping until we are done. So this time now we need to derive cosine x cube, and that's going to be negative sine x cube, and now the derivative of x cube is times 3x2, so that's the final answer. So it's a pretty similar example to the last one. So you can pause the video and try to do this yourself. So let's start by the first formula, which is going to be, the second formula, which is going to be taking the 5 down and keeping everything same inside. So cosine sine secant x squared, and this is entirely to the power of 4. And now we move to the inner part. So this time now we'll use this formula. So it's going to be the derivative of cosine negative sine, and the inner part stays the same. And now we move on to g prime, which is this part now. And again we will use this formula again. So we keep looping until we are done with everything. I'm going to write it over here. So it's going to be cosine secant x squared, and that was our last loop. So now we find g prime, which is going to be the derivative of secant x squared, which is just secant x squared multiplied by tan x squared multiplied by 2x, because you take x squared also. So now let's move on to some examples where we need to use the product rule plus the chain rule. So a question like x squared multiplied by x minus 3 to the power of 3, let's say. So here we need to use the combination of the chain rule and the product rule, since we have two functions together. So let's start. So it's going to be f prime g. So let's choose this as f and this as g. So it's going to be f prime, which is 2x. G is going to stay the same, so x minus 3 cube, plus f is going to stay the same now, so x squared, times g prime. So here we need to use the chain rule for this part. It's going to be 3 into x minus 3 is going to stay the same, and the power will be 2, so 3 minus 1 multiplied by the derivative of the inner part, which is just 1, so I'm not going to write here. And this is the final answer, and you can simplify this now. So it's going to be 2 into x minus 3 cube plus 3 x squared into x minus 3 squared, and we can take the GCF, which is going to be x minus 3 squared. So it's going to be x minus 3 squared into, now what is left over here is 2x, and there is an x minus 3 left over here, plus 3x squared which is over here. And actually the brackets are a little messed over, so I'm going to use the square brackets for the main multiplication, and this is the final answer. You can simplify the inner part over here. So that's going to give you x minus 3 squared into 2x squared minus 6x plus 3x squared. So this can cancel out with this, so you'll be, oh no, it will add up, so it's going to give you 5x squared minus 6x, and that's the final answer. So in our last example here, we need to use the chain rule plus the quotient rule, since we have a fraction over here and we can see the format for the chain rule plus the quotient rule. So let's do that. So first step again, u is this inner part, which is x minus 3 over 3x plus 1, and n is 5. So it's going to be 5 into x minus 3, this is going to stay the same, 3x plus 1 to the power of 4 multiplied by now the u prime, which is going to be the quotient rule for the fraction, which is as written over here. So it's f prime g minus fg prime over g squared. So let's start writing it then. It's going to be f prime g. So let's take f as the numerator. So f is going to be x minus 3 and g is 3x plus 1. So f prime is going to be 1 multiplied by g, which is 3x plus 1. So 3x plus 1 minus f is going to be x minus 3 into g prime, which is 3 over g squared. So g squared is 3x plus 1 squared. So now it's just the simplification part. Let's simplify this part over here first. So it's going to be 3x plus 1 minus 3x minus 9. Oh no, it's going to be 3x plus 9 since minus x and plus, yeah. So, and this all going to be over 3x plus 1 squared. And we can just cancel out the 3x over here. It's only going to be left with 10. So now let's simplify this part over here. What we can do here is, since the denominators are the same, we can distribute the power to the denominator and the numerator. So it's going to be 5 into x minus 3 to the power of 4 over 3x minus plus 1 to the power of 4, and this is just multiplication. And now you can simplify the final answer to be, we can do 5 times 10, which is 50, into x minus 3 to the power of 4 all over 3x plus 1 to the power of 6. So let me just scroll down a little bit. So it's going to be 3x plus 1 to the power of 6, and this is the final answer. Now, as always in my videos, I always show a shortcut method. So in this video, I do have a way on the calculator where you can recheck your answer, even though if you don't have an exact number for x. So after getting the final answer, of course, you need to show all the workings. So this is just a method to recheck if you made a silly mistake. What you can do is, from the question, you can substitute, let's say 1 in x or 0 in x to make it even more simpler. So it's going to be, you of course need the calculator which can do the derivative, and after doing that you will get, let's say, 0.3, and in your final answer now you will substitute that same value. Let's say you use 0, and if you get the same answer, this means that you are correct. So I will be making a short video on that, so it's more easier to understand, of course. And yeah, thanks for watching.